industry. Uh, Before we dive into this, I would like to thank Genesis Blockchain Conference for having us today. And I would like to request our panelists to introduce yourself in briefly, your name, your profession, and when did you enter this space? We'll start with Preeti.
Preeti Kasredi. I got into crypto, I think, in 2014-ish. And I introduced myself at the first talk, but I worked at Goldman, I worked at A16Z, and then I taught myself how to code, and then ended up joining Coinbase, which is how I got into crypto, and then I started my own crypto company.
I'm Priyanka Sharma, and I handle marketing and communications at WazirX. The first time I bought Bitcoin was when a colleague transferred it to me in 2014 or early 2015. And I'm marketing and marketing advertising person, so I'm not too familiar with the tech aspect of it, but yeah.
Hi, sorry I'm late. So how I got into crypto?
You have to introduce yourself.
Okay.
Yeah. And when did you enter this space?
So I'm Tanvi Ratna. I run a regulatory and policy advisory firm in, not in emerging technologies generally. And I've been pretty active in crypto regulation globally. So I worked across 9 countries now on crypto regulations. So I got into the space because I come from the policy making side. I used to work within government. So I used to work on Capitol Hill when Secretary Clinton was there, Hillary Clinton. I worked in India with PM Modi. That's when I moved here. And I got into blockchain in 2017. So I was helping the Karnataka government with their blockchain framework and their engagement with the community.
Great. So we have got Priyanka from marketing background, Preeti from VC and entrepreneurship background, and we have got Tanvi from regulatory aspects. So the first question, when we hear women in blockchain, the question we have is gender inequality. So various industries experience gender inequality. How relevant is it in the digital asset space? We'll start with Preeti.
Sure. My perspective, again, everyone's perspective is different. My perspective on this is I don't think it's any different from other industries. Like, crypto is not like, we're not like, oh, women are not allowed. Like, it's just a matter of the fact that, there are less women in tech in general. And as a result, and crypto is kind of the bleeding edge of tech, so you're going to see even fewer women in crypto, and that's to be expected. So I think to ever expect any workforce or any industry to have equal men and women, I think that's a false hope. I think instead what we need to do is give women the option to enter crypto, or the awareness and the education to enter crypto. So it's not about getting all women into crypto, but it's about giving them the option and seeing if they're interested. Because some women might not be interested, right? We don't want to pull women into crypto who are not interested. So where does that happen? In my opinion, that happens in colleges and places like that. But to answer your question, I don't think it's any different than any other industry.
Priyanka?
I would just add on to what Preeti said. And the thing with blockchain is because it's very nascent technology, so it sounds very complicated. So I know for me, like when Nishal looped me into like working with WazirX, and I was very intimidated. I was terrified because I thought it's a very tech-dominated sector, and there is no role for a non-techie there. But actually, Preeti, that's where your articles helped me a lot. In fact, it was after reading your Medium posts, the 3-part posts, that I got familiar with the aspects of crypto, and then I think that's when I felt that okay, this is something I can understand enough to promote and market. So Yeah, so I think because of the whole it sounds very complicated, so it might intimidate women, and there are already very few women in tech. So raising an awareness is a very important thing, and there are various ways you can be a part of this: finance, marketing, law, policies, anything.
Tanvi, would you like to add?
Yeah, so I fully agree with Preeti. I think women in tech is generally a problem. Also, in my industry of policy making, politics, women are far lesser, I think, than in tech. And that too in India, I find like it's quite less. And I had the same experience as you, Priyanka. Like when I first got into blockchain, there's so many times when I've been the only woman in the room, like so many meetings, like most of the meetings are like that. And I think there is definitely a need for, I think, these other skills in blockchain now, because I think blockchain overall has a PR problem. Like it has a very big PR problem with everybody, like with citizens, with governments. And that whole messaging around that, I think definitely there's a lot of need for good professionals from there. But I think also just core women in tech, like getting them interested in crypto. There's a lot of women in tech in Bangalore, but I don't see as many of them at events, right? Like,
Exactly. So I think the blockchain technology is a kind of manipulating concept when it comes to technology, because we tend to think it's a kind of tech oriented concept, right? So I'd like to ask you all, what's it going to take, to drive female leadership in this space? What can we do to bring more women in this space? What are the aspects?
I always go back to education and awareness. Like it, I know it sounds simple and cliche, but how are women gonna come into the space if they don't even know about it? And I think like when you go to colleges or whatever, right now, you know, taking cryptocurrency classes is probably not an option. So perhaps allowing people to take these kinds of courses and having these kinds of courses in colleges could help bring awareness. And if that's not possible because colleges are too bureaucratic, then the other option is to have off campus like meetups and stuff, or on campus organizations that are crypto related. So, for example, in American colleges, I think basically every college in America now has multiple or at least one or more crypto clubs. So same thing should happen in India. Like every college should have these crypto clubs that are self-organized, so that more women find out about it through these organizations.
Tanvi?
Again, I completely agree with what Preeti has said. Um, uh, we need more awareness and education around it, and there are women who are doing a fabulous job in cryptocurrency and blockchain field. You look at Lightning Labs and everything, Tezos. So there are women doing a solid job. So more of this needs to be highlighted to encourage women. I know a few women who are doing an exceptional job with market research and everything. They're like basically they're leading a team. I mean, they have their own company which helps crypto projects take care of marketing and everything. So that should be highlighted. So again, just to say that yeah, there is room for everyone to like build things.
So basically, workshops and the
Yeah,
classes could help it.
yeah,
Would you like
absolutely.
to add anything, Tanvi?
yeah, I think some messaging around blockchain and women, like even this panel, I've never seen it happen in like 3 years in Bangalore. And some messaging, like even on social media, because blockchain is like disrupting the social order as well. You know, it's a social um, movement as much as it's a tech movement, right? And so, what can blockchain mean for women? Like, even if Preeti had a blog about it, or like if people write about that, or start some hashtag women in blockchain or something, like it can really help.
Yeah.
One more thing, which is, oh man, I lost
No, you can
that track.
continue. Achha. So we have many people here from different aspects. One is marketing, VC, and regulatory aspect. So coming back to your own career, how did you start researching about Bitcoin, blockchain, cryptocurrency? Because whenever somebody, especially a woman, wants to enter into this space, she might not have that, a to-do list, what to do exactly. So, how did you start researching about these aspects? Would you like to share? Yeah, we'll start
Yeah,
with
and this is
Preeti.
where it gets a little bit tough because crypto is not mainstream, and so there's no like Bible of here's exactly what you need to learn in crypto, and you